Is the March SAT easier or harder than the August SAT? Let's first address the myth. College Board is a standardized test. What that means is if one test is substantially easier or harder than another, they grade it accordingly, not depending on how students do. That's a curve. A curve is not the same thing as a standardized test. If the test they decide beforehand is harder than another test, then they have to make that one a little bit more lenient in the grading. It doesn't depend on how students do, but it does depend on the difficulty of the questions that they decide in advance. If they mess this up, and they did mess this up, there was one test where every single one of my students did categorically worse across the board than on every other test and every other practice test that they did. If that ever happens, it doesn't mean that one exam is easier than another. It means College Board messed up, and that's not supposed to happen. So they're trying to do their best to make them all kind of equal, but certainly it's not the case that a March exam or an August exam is easier or harder, in general at least. So don't try to predict whether the test is going to be harder or easier. If it's harder, you're going to be graded more leniently. If it's easier, you're going to be graded more harshly. So instead of trying to predict that, focus on your preparation, and that's how you'll be most likely to get the result that you want.